Hello guys and girls, and welcome back to the Racing Line Championship, the Racing Line Touring Car Championship, powered by GT Omega Racing. And don't forget, cheeky little discount code there in the broadcast information, TRL, for those of you wanting 5% off of any of GT Omega Racing products. Let's get that advert straight out the way. Welcome back for round 8, the races of New York, race 22, 23 and 24. Can you believe that's how many races these guys have done and that you guys have joined us for on this little journey that we have been on for Season 1 of the RLTC Championship? We are here at Watkins Glen at the very suggestive looking track map there on your screens. It is the Cup layout with the chicane, and we are being broadcast here on the Racing Line Twitch and YouTube, where I can see some of you have jumped in chat already. Over on Twitch with Bob ZFG saying, do the thing, come on, do the thing. Yes, the thing, he did the thing. And Biggie Morello says, hello, with a monkey emoji. Hello to Biggie Morello. So Twitch chat showing up YouTube already in the first couple of minutes. Of course, I've already mentioned the Racing Line, which is where most of you know us from. But don't forget all of our new watchers. We cannot ignore you guys over there with our friends and partners over at VCO Esports. Thank you for joining and watching, whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch over there as well. Please don't be afraid to jump in chat and say hello. Just to show your support for the drivers, if anything. I do my best to try and read out as many comments as I can, and I know that you will. Well, they appreciate it, especially when you vote for Driver of the Day at the end of the day, when we've done all 3 of our races. Without further ado, fancy word. We'll go for fancy word. Andy Biz, Watkins Glen is my home track. Thanks for another great video and race. No worries. Stick around. Let's see what the racing is going to be like, because I do not know what to expect from here. Let's have a look at what has been happening in practice as usual. About 10 minutes left. Mattilenius 2 says VCO emojis. That's him over there on Twitch. I see you, sir. What is going on then? What is happening right now in practice? Well, there's a All Sports Racing and an ORD. Look at these guys all really stuck to the bumpers of each other there in the footage you saw on screen. And there are the times of practice so far with 7 minutes left. Bob's saying he's just here for lap 1 drama. If I'm honest, my predictions are that's going to happen. In fact, whilst we're at this stage, before we get to qualifying, those of you already watching, let's play a quick game. Safety car predictions. A number between 0 and 3. How many safety cars are we going to be seeing today? That is the question. Hopefully, I'm going to go... do you know what? I'm going to go with none. I am going to go with none, and I'm just going to hope that they all survive. Some people jumping straight in. We're going to see 1. Bob says 2. 1 on the S's on lap 1, says Kakula. Germo says 0 along with me. Good. That is good to hear. Now, it looks like we've got Cranston up there. It's fastest again. Straight away in practice, but not by much. Mats Borg Hansen, good to see him back up there. 2 Hondas, fastest in practice. For Connor Mills in 3rd, Burkhardt 4th, Bailiff and Fox. Andy Fox makes a return. Look at that with a P6 lap time. He's a happy boy. Waiting for this Watkins Glen round. Let's have a quick overview of the championship before we go through some more information. Starting with, of course, the constructors as we need to go on. Well, what do we have here? Team Fear Factor still leading the way. That's not right. That should be the other way around. Those 2 teams. I wonder if I can... You know what? Let me see if I can change that on the fly. Why not? That is an amateur mistake. Let's see. Right. Can I work under pressure? Can I work under pressure? Here we go. Just pretend that this is not happening. Ready? And let's see if we can swap this over. Oh! Boom. No one ever noticed. Pulsar Esports lead the way with 1,758 points. And Fear Factor dropped down to P2 with, of course, the big news last time out of Damien Harris retiring from the championship and Jan Weiswanger setting into that seat of the Audi RS3. All Sports Racing try and close in that gap with 1,426 points with 4 rounds to go after this round. So they've got plenty of time to do so, whilst Goldwing Motorsport continue to try and break themselves in as a top team. Whilst they do hold on to All Sports Racing there, that may be true, but they are the only team in that top 4 without a win. Will that change tonight? 1,197 points. Can Goldwing get their first win? Not with Sam Van Olst. Well, I say that, maybe with Sam Van Olst, but he will be starting from the back today after he receives a quali ban for exceeding penalty points at this point in the season. Lurch's Academy pull away from Meatball Motorsport, who were one driver down last time out after the surprise departure of Honda driver Sebastian Broberg. We do see the return, however, of Christian Ribeiro, the Brazilian driver. So we swap one flag for another for the remainder of the season with Meatball Motorsport. He'll be starting from last today, as did Jan Weiswanger last round. What can he achieve? You can see him on your screens in the background there in the purple Honda with Andy Fox right behind him. ORD jump, win it or bin it, with a huge point swing up into P7. Massive points haul last time out. They're up into 880 points there in P7 with win it or bin it dropping down. Again, do you know what? I'm not going to do it again on the fly. That is the wrong way around. Team ORD are ahead of win it or bin it. Win it or bin it in P8 with 802 points. Lurch's Gaming and MOT still hold on to P9 and P10 with Masters of Traction closing to a 45-point gap thanks to Jerry Agard's first podium ever. It's mad times. Anyway, Drivers' Championship. We need to see those drivers' standings. Where are they? These will be correct, because yes, they are correct. So, here we are then. This is what it all boils down to. With 3 minutes left of practice, here is your current championship order. Connor Mills moves up into first place, understandably, as Damien Harris is out. And he's pulled a 30-point lead from Morgan Burkhardt in that last round, who is still in P2 and well within a chance of taking this championship. That is still quite a close gap. Let's not ignore that. 30 points is not a lot when we do 3 races a night and we've got 4 rounds left after this. VCO Esports talking to Matthias, talking about the ERL Championship over at VCO Esports, which is happening on Wednesday at 7 o'clock Central Eastern Time. And the Salty Gent has popped in and said, this is not the Jetta Cup. No, you are right, it is not. This is the RLTC. We have been doing this for a few months now. And we've got about 1 month to go, I guess, or just 1 or 2 months to go, and then we are done, and we will head back to the Jetta Cup in the later half of the year. Now, where were we in these championship standings? Harris falls to P3, who we just mentioned. Stephen King up into P4 in a Hyundai, who passed Mats Borg Anderson in P5 after he had a low point scoring round last time out in Canadian Tire. Bailiff and Dempsey hold station in P6 and 7, with Marcel Frisch jumping 3 drivers last time out to jump up into P8. That is madness. Van Olst and Downing round off the top 10. As I've already mentioned, Sam Van Olst, though, will be starting from the back today. So Downing looking to pass his teammate there in P9 today for sure. If he can't, he'll be disappointed with that, considering his teammate's going to be starting last in race 1. Andre Mayerek moves up into P11 ahead of the 2 All Sports Racing guys, Huffman and Cranston. Manintveld and Lequay duke it out for the top Lurchers Academy driver. Lequay trying to close that gap, and Joseph Gibson's resurgence continues with him up into P16 now. Ridley, Fox, Murray and Taki round off your top 20. There in the championship. You can see them at the top now. Joe Gibson, Ridley, Fox together. Murray and Taki there, your top 20 drivers. Caraday and Corpus hold on to 21st and 22nd. Agard jumps from 27th place to 23rd with his first podium, so he will be happy with that. Fry, Burns, Broberg, Henriksen, Blake, Thornton and Mundere are your top 30, and new entry Weiswanger in 31st, and Christian Ribeiro joining as of today with 0 points, obviously starting afresh before he heads into qualifying. Qualifying today in about 30 seconds. I wonder how that man is feeling. It's been a while. He's had to watch all of these, has Christian Ribeiro and has Jan. They get to see how they were racing all the way through the season. And, well, look at that. That's a shot. 3 Meatball Motorsport cars all in one picture. Everyone knows how much I like that livery. Don't know why. It's just, look at the green number on the back of that Honda as well. Oh, look at that. Morgan Burkhardt goes to the top of the times in an Audi. Has he got slipstream? He's got no one ahead of him. Oh, he does. There's Ika Lequay up the road as they all come flying round turn 1. So this circuit, very fast, very flowy, not a lot of corners. 7 corners in total. Well, the chicane for some reason isn't numbered. And look at Jerry absolutely pushing Morgan along. The slipstream is going to be ridiculously strong here. And that is why a part of me really hopes that we might see just if they all survive and play nice, which is rare, that's in racing, let's say, we might see 30 cars all cross the line in a train. What do you reckon are the chances of that happening? Give me the odds. Give me the odds on that. Let's play a bit of roulette. 30 car train. Look at them all flying out of the pit lane. Now, what gets me is it's not always first is best. because they normally start waiting for people later in the session, as we see Marcel Friesch in the Hyundai go out. What have we got in chat? The Salty Gent says, can you give me an overview of what this is? The Racing Line Touring Car Championship. So this time round, this is season 1 of us giving this a go. It is a similar format to the Jetta Cup with faster cars. They are all front-wheel drive still, all touring cars, but we have 3 manufacturers on the grid this time. We have the Honda Civic Type R, the Hyundai Elantra NTC, and the Audi RS3 touring car as well. So 3 cars are out there on track. There are 10 teams out there as well, which we went through. And each team has 1 of each car in it. So there's 30 cars in total. 10 Audis, 10 Hondas, 10 Hyundais. Everyone is fighting for a team's championship. Everyone is fighting for the Drivers' Championship. And there's also a cheeky little side Manufacturers' Championship. So let's say the Hyundai was struggling more than the other cars. They're still fighting for best Hyundai driver. And it makes it a little bit fairer across the grid. For example, in terms of stats of the cars, do you know what? This is a good time to have a look at how these cars have been doing over the course of the season. They did upgrade the balance of power at some point mid-season, but this is how it looks. The Audis in total have 14 wins, 37 podiums, 3 pole positions, and 9 fastest laps. That is an astonishing record. The Audi coming out as the best car for racing at the moment. The Honda isn't too far behind. Well, I say isn't too far behind. It's about a third of the way. It's got 5 wins to its name, has the Honda Civic. It's got 17 podiums, so 20 less than the Audi. But it has got 1 more pole position. It's got 4 pole positions and an equal 9 fastest laps. Both of those cars taking a pole position and a win. Hyundais are struggling a little bit. Only 2 Hyundais have won, and that is Jameson Huffman and Stephen King. They've got 9 podiums in total. Marcel Friesch joins them for those podiums. I remember him getting one as well. And they've only got 3 fastest laps to their names. The highest finish has been first, with those 2 drivers winning. The highest grid position for a Hyundai, though, is only 3rd. So you could say the Elantra's struggling a little bit in terms of balance of power. But it is what it is. Let's have a look. Jerry's the first across the line, so he's the first to set a time there. As we see them all in this big train, who shall we go on board with? Let's have a look at the track map. Is there anyone? There's a few people out there alone. Let's have a look at Joe Gibson. He's just crossed the line. He's had a great season so far. He's on board with Joe Gibson. This is what these cars look like, and have a look at this circuit. So we've just about missed turn 1, which was a fast right-hander. Now it's flat out all the way through these S's, all the way down this back straight, heading towards a tight single file chicane. You can see he's in 6th gear. He's reached 225, 26, 27, 28 kilometers an hour before he has to brake. Oh, look how close he got to the wall there, through the fast chicane, down into 5th, 170 kilometers an hour through that chicane. Holds it tight to this right-hand side line. We'll see varying lines through this long sweeping corner here. Again, very, very fast. 5th gear. You can use all that track on the exit way past the curve if you need to, which we'll probably see in racing situation. And now we've got just 2 corners left. 2 fast left-right corners. Here they come. Left-hand side, throws it in, easy on the throttle, runs a little wide on the exit, gets over to the left-hand side again, keeps it in 5th. Tucks it in, a little bit tentative on the steering there, heads out towards the wall. I wonder if he got a 1x in the chicane. He looked a little bit unsettled in the chicane. Is this lap time going to improve Joe Gibson? Is he going to get a lap time on the board? Because he currently doesn't. He does not, by the looks of it. He hasn't jumped up. He's still there, timeless, so he must have 1x'd it. You can't go off that curve that he's just gone over there on the exit of turn 2 there. Turn 1, sorry. I was answering someone's question about an overview of what this is. I mentioned the cars. In terms of format, we have a 10-minute qualifying and then 3, that's right, 3 roughly 15-minute races. Today's race is 12 laps. We have 3 12-lap races. There are no pit stops. The first race is in quali order. The second race, the top 6 get reversed. The third race, the top 12 get reversed. And it keeps it nice and close, especially when they're fighting for every point, especially when the championship is as it is after 24 races, which is absolute Madness. Morgan Burkhardt is looking to make the Audis even on poles with the Honda, as he currently goes fastest for the All Sports Racing team. We see them regularly, and Connor Mills has just gone in behind him. Where's he on track? He's following Eric Mannitveld in the Hyundai. Got 5 minutes left to quali. It's a small track actually, so I believe they're only limited to 5 laps in qualifying, which I think was just an accidental rule, to be honest. But there you go, 5 times laps is what they get. He's flashing his lights, is Connor Mills. He's right behind Eric Mannitveld, heading towards the chicane. I think Eric's moved out his way. Marcel's out the way as well. Look how close they get to that wall. That is a cut. He's not next to that lap. There's no way that's valid. Calling it now. No purple sectors. Jake Cranston has gone purple in sector 2. I think that might have been his last lap. He's currently there in P2. Following Andy Fox. Andy Fox hasn't, he missed a round. And I'll be honest, I feel like, I'm not one to get soppy, but I feel like I missed him a little bit. There he is in the winner of minute Audi. He hasn't got green wheels on. That was his idea. He loves green wheels. Maybe he damaged them in practice or something, and they got some new ones but didn't paint them. There you go. There he is in the number 21 Audi, just letting a few people pass. But at the moment, it's 2 All Sports Racing cars, 2 Pulsus Esports cars, and a Fear Factor Honda all there by itself. With Dan Downing, a driver we haven't heard much from this week since last week. Here he is in P6, just ahead of John Bailiff. Look how close those times are. Let's have a quick look. First of all, I'm just going to show this because I know that some people like to see. Look at that. Look at the logos of the cars. Look, such a mixed grid. And Cranston goes fastest. Cranston moves up fastest to make it 5 pole positions potentially for the Honda. He's going to make it 2 on the bounces, Jake Cranston. A proper resurgence after missing 2 rounds for poor misconduct. He got banned for 2 whole rounds, and there he is on pole position twice in a row. Well, madness. We've got OG Bizarro clearly bored. That is Sam Van Olst in Twitch chat. Clearly bored, sat in the pits, serving his quali ban. And look at the flags that we got on the grid. It's good to see the Brazilian flag return in the hands of Christian Ribeiro. And the German flag, to be fair, of Jan Weiswanger there in P24. I said we were going to have a look at the gaps. Let's have a look. There we go. So 800ths quicker went Cranston there on pole position, and 2 temps down are the 2 Pulsus boys. 4 temps for Stephen King in the Hyundai. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you who we need to mention. I think he's just gone to the pits. But it's Donny Alpha Henriksen in the Masters Attraction Hyundai. Up there in P7. He's going to get dizzy there. Where is Murray, says Bob on Twitch. Where is Duncan Murray? He's currently down in 21st place, is Duncan. And I think people are starting to have set their laps. And it looks like most people are, in fact, coming in or finished. So I think this is just as a result of going to some short tracks all of a sudden. Is that they set the 5 laps. I'm going to be honest still, Basilisk. I don't get it. A neck stretcher. He's bought a neck stretcher. Does that make him old now? I'll let everybody else answer that. YouTube, we got a YouTube comment. It's about time. Yo, let's go, says Nifty Chat. That's more like it. Come on, YouTube. Twitch is showing you up. Whether it's here on the Racing Line YouTube or Twitch, or the VCO Esports YouTube or Twitch. I can see VCO Esports Twitch chat have been getting involved, and of course, we all appreciate that. I think Eric Mannitveld is the only car left. They've all served their lap times. Stephen King is out there, actually, by himself. I wonder if he's just getting a bit of track time in. You can see him going quite wide there on the exit. There's 30 seconds left to quali. Not sure he's going to get well, he will get this lap in, but I'm not sure it's going to count. OG Bizarro on Twitch says don't forget to like and subscribe. He's having fun. Sam Van Olst there in 29th place, having fun. 29, we're missing a driver again. Who is that driver? It is Mod Taki, I believe, the Malaysian driver for Lurchus Gaming. I wonder he's either. I wonder if he's overslept. It's very early out there in Malaysia, to be fair. to be racing with us, and he's done very well this far, and we do hope to see him return. The grid. It's grid time. Race 1 is about to start. Jake Cranston takes your pole position then once again for the Hondas. That extends its lead from the Audis in the pole position fight. Just 800ths behind is his teammate Morgan Burkhardt. Watch him at the start because the Audi starts are absolutely blinding. Connor Mills in the Audi as well there in P3 may also get the jump on Cranston to take to move ahead of him at the start. Stephen King, Marcel Friesch and Mats Borg Anderson, your third row there. Fear Factor cars all round. Donnie Henriksen and Bailiff there in 7th and 8th. Downing, Majorek, Fry up in P11 and Jameson Huffman there in P12. Stephen Burns, Zeke Lequay, Manenveld, Agard, Corpus and Blake. Christian Ribeiro up there in P19, out-qualifying Kieran Dempsey, the #1 driver of the team there in 19th and 20th. Duncan Murray, Carl Ridley, Alejandro Caraday and Jan Weiswanger there in 24th, although Christian Ribeiro should be starting from the back, so he might get disqualified for that, I'm pretty sure. Jesus Amundere, Andy Fox, Dan Thornton and Joseph Gibson and Sam Van Olst. He needs to be starting at the back, does Christian, for sure. And it's a shame, because that qualifying is impressive stuff. But there you go, that rounds off your grid. Sam Van Olst there in 29th place. What can he do today? Where can he get to? Oh, there we go. That's a good view of the start. Ten seconds left as they grid up. Here we go then. The lights are on.
Green flag, green flag.
And away they go. So did Morgan get the better start of the two at the front? It looks like it was a fairly even start. Connor Mills, look at them. There's so many cars. It's so hard to keep track of when they all come down to turn 1. Flying down to turn 1 at the same time. 12 laps and Connor Mills round the outside of Jake Cranston there, and Stephen King's looking to take advantage of that. Can he follow him through? He's on the outside of Jake Cranston as they go up towards the hill. Is he going to have the inside of the next right-hander? I think he might. Stephen King trying to barge his way through. Is he going to get the toe from his teammate? He can't. He's going to have to swap in behind. There is a crash back there. Who's involved? It looks like it's Duncan Murray and Alejandro Caraday for certain. That is, well, they've survived. I wonder if they're going to get damage from that. I am not sure. But up ahead, Morgan Burkhardt leads. Connor Mills in second. Jake Cranston third. And Marcel Friesch is up into 4th place. What a blinding start for that Hyundai driver there. 4th Fear Factor. Stephen King down in 5th. Mats Borg Anderson is right behind him. Look at Sam Van Olst is up into P20. What a blinding start he's had. We're going to have to try and see a replay of that at some point as Kieran Dempsey goes way off through the cones. He's going to drag that cone with him. Andy Fox is now racing Sam Van Olst. Sam Van Olst is going to have a look around the outside. Henriksen and Downing up ahead into the final corners are going side by side. Downing's on the inside as they approach this final turn. Who's going to come out on top on this one? Donnie Henriksen gets the stronger outside line. He should have the run down towards turn 1 now. Let's see how that happens. And look at them all come filtering through. They're all surviving so far. Connor Mills is pressuring Morgan Burkhardt. We said it was a slipstreamy track. I have no idea who's going to come out on top. Get your bets in chat now as we see Dempsey and Fox swapping over back there. Dan Blake's on the inside of Weiswanger. There sounds like there's more contact. I think there's a car around somewhere in that. You can see the smoke. Dempsey's getting feisty. He's getting his elbows out. Andy Fox now behind Sam Van Olst, with Corpus there on the inside for the green and silver Lurch's Academy car. Christian Ribeiro and Kieran Dempsey are really going at it. Christian Ribeiro will definitely have to keep an eye on things for sure. He shouldn't have started there. And look at this, Corpus looking to the inside of Fox into the chicane. That's never a good idea. They're going to go side by side. They do. Corpus goes wide. Sam Van Olst, that's going to be a slowdown. Corpus comes flying back on and tags Christian Ribeiro round anyway. And there goes Christian down the order, and I think Corpus is going to go with him. He is going down a little bit. Andy Fox lucky to survive that fight. But what has happened up here? Because this top order has swapped around quite a lot since we were looking at all of those guys getting feisty. I actually can't see where this happened, to be fair. Morgan Burkhardt is still in the lead, but Jake Cranston, where is Jake Cranston's name? Passing. look at him, pushing him along now. Jake absolutely helping his teammate. As they head into the chicane side by side, Connor Mills was on the outside and Jake goes flying off into the barrier. He's going to be out of this race. That looked like a fairly hefty whack. And he goes up the inside of Morgan, does Connor there. I think Morgan may have a slowdown because he's going down the order. We're going to need a replay of Jake Cranston there. He's not showing up on my timing screens. I can't find any replays. Sam has gained 11th position in 2 laps. Indeed. Hopefully he's done it cleanly. I can see some people. Here's where some people passed Jake Cranston. Let's have a replay of what we just saw as they head towards the chicane. Connor Mills round the outside. Oh, that's a tough one to call. Jake is still in the race. He's not out, I think. And look at that. That's where Morgan had his slowdown as well. And the 2 Fear Factor cars go through. And Stephen King's going to be looking to take advantage of that as well. Yeah, I think I agree with you, Germo, there. To be honest, from the blimp cam, it did look like Connor was there. And Jake went towards the apex. I think room was given on the outside. But it's a difficult corner to get through side by side. It really is. And I'm surprised people are trying it. But who's going to stop them, eh? Racing drivers. But here we go. Lap 4 of 12. The race is flying by. We're already a third of the way through. Connor Mills leads the way. Marcel Friesch and Mats Morgansen a second and third. Morgan Burkhardt still holding on in P4. And then you've got the 2 Pulses boys of King and Bailiff back behind. Jake Cranston will bring himself back into this as Donnie Hendrickson is going to come under pressure from Dan Downing back here. I wonder what is going to happen through here as they all come flying through. Weissbanger's coming out of the pits. You should see him drop down the order now. And look at them all come through the S's. This is a hell of a shot. Those engine sounds. But Donnie Hendrickson under pressure from Dan Down. He's got Ika LeQuay right behind him as well with the Lurch's car. Dan Blake has just passed Kieran Dempsey into turn 1. They're going side by side. Has to give room on the exit. Kieran's going to keep it nice and tidy through there. They're going to race up through the S's now, up through turn 2, into turn 3. Kieran Dempsey's going to try and hold it around the outside. He's going to have the inside for 3. He's going to be on the outside for 4 as Burkhardt and Anderson are swapping places up there as well into the chicane. Burkhardt's already got him done before the braking zone of the chicane. Blake and Dempsey are still going at it back here. They're on the back straight, side by side. Dempsey's on the outside, Dan Blake on the inside. Who's going to survive? Into the chicane they go side by side. Kieran Dempsey absolutely throws it round the outside. Dan Blake backs out and survives for another day. He's got Duncan Murray behind him, ready to fight him soon. Joe Gibson down there in 22nd as well after having a cracking round. I wonder what happened to him and why is he down there? I've got Jesus and Mundere apparently crashing on here, so we'll find out what happened there. Is this at the start, near the start? Oh dear, oh dear. Very, very clumsy back here. Jan Weissbanger, that's why he's in the pits. Oh my God. Oh, Jerry was very lucky as well. Oh dear. Race 1, clean. Who'd have thought it? That car's broken, sir. That car is absolutely broken. I think Caraday also had a little bit of a crash. How has he got those wheels still on? Both of them on the right-hand side. Oh! Oh, he nearly made it to the pits. That's not what you want to see, is it? Really not what you want to see. Let's go back live. And your lead fight still looks like this. So this is what it looks like. Connor Mills into the chicane. Marcel Friesch still right behind and Morgan Burkhardt behind him. Fastest lap of the race, though. Jake Cranston there in P7 looking to make his way back up. Sam Van Olst is up into P18. His main aim, I think, for today is to get up into P12 by the end of race 2, which will give him a pole position for the race 3. But is pole position key here? Not really, with the amount of slipstream that is available for all the drivers. There's a little breakaway, though, behind Jake Cranston to Donnie Henriksen, who's still got Dan Downing right behind LeQuay pressuring. Stephen Burns is having a good showing. He's up there in P11. So Masters Attraction, actually, having quite a good race with 2 of their drivers up there in the top 12. Jerry Agard, actually, the podium sitter last time out, is down there in 25th, the worst driver of the 3 today. The fortunes of racing and how they turn as Dan Downing looks to the inside of Donnie Alpha Henriksen. Donnie Alpha Henriksen's going to hold it around the outside. He's going to get the better run. The outside line tends to be stronger here as long as the fight doesn't continue too long. Little side-by-side fights like these, though, as they go side-by-side up through turn 2 and 3, they cost you heaps of time, as the gap to Jake Cranston is now 3 seconds as these two are fighting it out for P8. P6, remember, is the reverse pole for race 2. So currently Bailiff and King are on your front row for race 2. They're going to go free wide towards the chicane. Dan Downing to the outside. He's going to try and survive with Lequay on his inside. Look at that as they bounce over the curbs. Yeet them through that chicane. And they all survive as Ika flashes his lights behind Dan Downing. I think that was all fair play, to be honest. It looked fairly close, fairly fast. You really don't want to be going 3 wide there too often, that is for sure. That's Jameson Huffman there in P13. A quick shout out to him with Stephen Fry all over his back bumper trying to get past. Andy Fox having a good return there in P16 with Eric Mannenveld in between him and the next car. Carl Ridley's been having a quiet race, but look who he's got behind him. It's long-term RLTC rival Sam Van Olst. How are these two going to get on during this race? Oh, Jake Cranston, I think, is just past John Bailiff. He's round the outside as they head down towards turn 1. Here they go then. This is for P6. It's for race 2 pole. Jake Cranston tries to brake as late as he dares, as does John Bailiff. They're side by side currently. Good stuff from these two drivers as they head towards turn 2. And Jake Cranston, I think, is going to get that move done. And Duncan Murray, I think, is just past Kieran Dempsey as well, who's pretty much stuck to the back of that Honda. This is what I meant about slipstream, folks. It's exactly just... You just want to stay to that car in front, and then you just want to try and get your chance to absolutely send it into one of the corners. Kieran looking like he's got the better run there. Dan Blake also watching for his moment. Joe Gibson trying to get through as well. A little four-way fight for P19 right now. John Bailiff has conceded that position. I wonder, has John had a slowdown or something, or has he just lost out masses of time? As Jake Cranston, that little fight with Jake and John has cost him 1.3 seconds to the next group of cars. Majorek and Burns have just swapped over through the turn 5 outer loop. Burns still on the inside of Huffman here as they go towards turn 6. Majorek swoops into that corner, so he's gained that position. Huffman backs out. They slot back in line. Henriksen holds on firmly to P8. Watch that gap between Cranston and King on your left, though. 5th and 6th, that is. You want to keep an eye on them for sure. Jerry Agard and Dan Thornton having a little fight near the bottom. Donnie Henriksen and Dan Downing going at it again. Dan Downing down the inside of turn 1. And now Henriksen again is going to hold it around the outside of 2, inside of 3. It's just constant side by side. There's 2 lines always. And you can't look at the intervals on the left because they're all so close. This train of 8 down to, well, 17th, 18th is all together. If Sam Van Olst could stand to gain about 10 positions here, which is absolute crazy if this goes wrong. Oh, look at them go side by side there. Majorek and Lequay battling out through the chicane. Lap 9 and 12, there's 3 laps to go. Andre Majorek still on the inside, having a little bit of a tap with Ika Lequay. That's fine as they exit the outer loop. Majorek ahead. Ika Lequay behind, but look at that, that's Burns who's going to get involved. They're going to go side by side to the next corner. Majorek holds on to the position. Huffman is going to have a look on the inside of 6 as well. Oh, has to back out of that, just about backs out of that. Marcel Friesch is down into 3rd, so he's been passed by Morgan Burkhardt at some point. I can see where Morgan passed Mats for P3. We can have a look at that in a second, but this battle's just so close. I can't take my eyes off anything. Morgan Burkhardt passing Mats Borg Anderson. Looks fairly easy down the back straight in that Audi. Gets it done before the chicane. And then on Marcel, was it pretty much the same thing? Very much so. Around the outside into the braking zone is this. Ooh, that looks very close as Jan Weiswanger darts out the way in the Fear Factor car. Very much moving out the way of his teammates there, but Morgan Burkhardt taking P2. That is your 2. Oh my god, have we just joined a 3-wide fight as Ika Lequay gets spun round? Andre Majorek's round. Burns side by side with Huffman. This is the crash that we were talking about. They're going to get massive slowdowns. What could Sam Van Olst do in this situation? He swoops round the outside of Andy Fox into T5. There's a couple of cars with slowdowns up ahead. Is he going to gain from them? They got fairly feisty as Mats Borg Anderson now passes Morgan Burkhardt somehow up ahead. The top fight is getting feisty as well. The Fear Factor cars fighting with your championship P2 person. Mats Borg Anderson on the inside of Morgan Burkhardt, lap 11 as we approach our second to last lap. What is going on? I just can't keep track. Mats Borg Anderson on the inside for turn 1. Can he brake late in the Honda? The Honda brake's working much better than the Audis normally. Marcel Friesch, though, back up into P2. Jake Cranston's there in P4. How's he made his way back up here? You can see his teammate. All the meanwhile, Colin Mills 1.8 seconds ahead. Duncan Murray passing Nico Lecquay there in 18th place. There's so much going on, but I think we have to keep our eyes on this. This is Fear Factor versus All Sports Racing versus a little bit of Pulsus, really, who are just sitting back and watching as Jake Cranston looks to the outside of the chicane. Mats Borg Anderson on the inside. Jake tucks in behind. He's been there before, didn't want to play that game again. Fear Factor, All Sports, Fear Factor, All Sports, Pulsus. Can Stephen King gain another position on Jake Cranston? He's at the back of this little train as Joseph Gibson and Nico Lecquay swap places. Nico Lecquay dropping down the order. Then he choked on my own tongue there, as there's so much going on. We're approaching our final lap. Connor Mills is coming around turn 6 now. Approaching the final corner. John Bailiff a little bit far back, and Jake Cranston sends it to the inside of turn 6 on Mats Borg Anderson, who gets roughed out a little bit wide. He's still going to have the inside for turn 7 as Jake's going to have to slot in behind, is he? They're side by side round turn 7, but Jake's going to get the better run. That's going to be, well, it's a little bit cheeky, but it is what it is. As Stephen King is now going to have a look onto the inside of turn 1 on Mats Borg Anderson. This is lap 12 of 12. Final lap now. This is all to play for as Mats Borg Anderson goes in a little bit deep. Gets into the back of Jake Cranston, but it doesn't run him wide as he may have planned to. Maybe it was an accident, maybe it wasn't. Morgan Burkhardt, though, is looking to try and catch P2. Marcel Friesch could be on for a career best finish here. He's got a 3rd place to his name. Can he add a 2nd podium to his name? And a P2 at that. Morgan Burkhardt right behind him. This is what it looks like from the front of Morgan Burkhardt's car. Closing in, 3 temps, 2 temps. Going to go into the 1 temp zone, throws it into the chicane, right onto the back of Marcel Friesch there in P2. You've got Connor Mills up the road. Corpus and Lecquay are swapping over back there. Jake Cranston is behind Morgan, so he's a little bit safe from Mats Borg Anderson. But I don't think, unless it's going to be a send into turn 6, I don't think this is going to be done. Connor Mills comes around turn 6. This is what it looks like. Your final fight. Morgan Burkhardt's going to have a look to the inside of the final corner. Not quite. Here comes Connor Mills round the final corner. That's your leader. Marcel Friesch in P2. Morgan Burkhardt's there as well. The checkered flag is out. Connor Mills comes across the line. Marcel Friesch, Morgan Burkhardt, and look at Mats Borg Anderson there as well. John Bailiff in P7. There's a fight there. That's Andy Fox, I think. They're going to go too wide across the line. It's Fidley and Fox and Van Olst there. Van Olst comes home. Where did he finish? In P16 from last. That's going to be interesting. Wow. Honestly, can't keep up with what just happened. So much happened in that race. And we've got another 12 laps coming right up of exactly the same thing, but the top 6 reverse. Stephen King on pole, Mats Borg Anderson in 5th, Jake Cranston and Morgan Burkhardt on the 2nd row with Marcel Friesch and Connor Mills on the 3rd row. Stephen Fry up there in P13, Burns in P12, Henriksen P9, a top 10 finish. Manenfeld P11. Great stuff. Let's have a look at the grid. Stephen King and Mats Borg Anderson, as I said, start your front row. Jake Cranston, Morgan Burkhardt, Friesch, Mills, Bailiff, Downing, Henriksen, Huffman are your top 10. Manenfeld, Burns, Fry, Ridley, Fox, Van Olst, Murray, Dempsey, Gibson, Blake are your top 20. Agard, Corpus, Thornton, Lecquay, Mayerek, Ribeiro, Weiswanger, Amundere, and Caraday. Your rounds off your grid there down to P29. And this race, remember, gets started fairly quickly. As we have a look at our front row. There were battles everywhere, says Biggie Morello on Twitch. Bob CFG says, damn good race that was. You could literally run around this track and the racing will still be good. You guys are going to need to help me keep an eye on this. Wherever you're watching, whatever 4 channels that you are on, Racing Line, YouTube or Twitch, VCO Esports, YouTube or Twitch. Oh, OG Bizarro resubscribed on Twitch. 3-month streak. Well done, sir. Thank you for that. Here we go then. The lights are coming on. Stephen King on pole in the Hyundai. He's got 2 Hondas behind him. An Audi behind that. What's the start going to be like? Stephen King looks to have had a decent start. Mats Borg Anderson looked like he got a little bit of wheel spin as they all come weaving and tussling down towards turn 1. Mats Borg Anderson on the inside of Burkhardt. Burkhardt is going to be up into P2 if he can swoop round the outside of Anderson, which it looks like he does. And Stephen King is going to try and hold on to the lead as Kyle Ridley goes flying off out there. That'll be a hell hell of a slowdown. But let's have a look at this lead fight as they all come through 2 by 2. Morgan Burkhardt on the inside of turn 3 now. I don't know what to look. We're going to need, I'll tell you what, let's have a look at it from this point of view where we can see pretty much everyone from up here. We can't see who's who because it's so far away. But there is everyone heading towards the chicane. And Morgan Burkhardt's going to take the lead as they head towards the chicane. Look at the run he got. Morgan Burkhardt, Mats Borg Andersen gets shoved over the chicane. He's going to get a slowdown. Connor Mills into the back of him. Mats Borg Andersen's going to spin, I believe. And Morgan Burkhardt takes the win, or not the win, takes the lead. Bit premature to call that. We've got 11 laps left. But Connor Mills and Mats Borg Andersen there getting tagged together. We know that will be investigated for sure, unless Connor Mills gives it back, which I think he has done so, actually. That's the first time we've blatantly seen that happen straight away. Connor Mills has given that back to Mats Borg Andersen and then some. So may have avoided a penalty, may get penalty points, but a time penalty definitely out the way. Mats Borg Andersen then in P8. Dan Downing there on the inside as we see Duncan Murray defending violently from Joe Gibson in the background there, helping his teammate Sam Van Olst out, who's currently in P15. And Carl Ridley's going to get the switch back on Joseph Gibson. Kieran Dempsey's having a little bit of a nightmare around here. Every time I see him, he's being shoved off somewhere. Joe Gibson comes flying through. Equal Aquay there with Kieran Dempsey, Jerry Agard and David Corpus. Dan Blake looking to get involved. Purple sector from Jesus Amundere back there on lap 2. Dan Thornton looking to chase him down. And currently we have an all sports racing 1-2. Morgan Burkhardt and Jake Cranston as Mats Borg Andersen has just passed Stephen Burns into the chicane. And now Huffman's looking to get through as well, I think. John Bailiff takes a nice wide line there. He's got Dan Downing around the outside of him, heading towards turn 6. And they all come flying through. Dan Downing forced to the outside. John Bailiff still there. That was Stephen King and Marcel Friesch going at it. Dan Downing on the inside gives John a little tap as he leans over onto the final corner. Is John still there? I think he might have gained that position as Dan Downing. He has indeed. Gonna go 4 wide into turn 1? No, I didn't think so, boys. That's it. Back out of that. Mats Borg Andersen down the inside with John Bailiff. Jameson Huffman gonna go around the outside of Mats Borg Andersen. Can he get the better run? Stephen Fry and Andy Fox are fighting it out back here. It's just side by sides everywhere. Who is fighting who? You just can't call it. We expected this train. The only thing I'm confused about is why Christian Ribeiro didn't start from the back like he was supposed to. It's almost like he didn't read the briefing, and I'm sure that penalty will be discussed at the end of this race. But Sam Van Olst, got to shout out that man. Started last in race 1, and here he is in P14 going side by side. Duncan Murray and Donnie Henriksen come together in race 2. How often have we seen that? Can Donnie keep his head together and his car after that impact? Doesn't look like he's got wheel damage. This is inside Donnie Henriksen's car. Andre Mayerek in the pits as well. Mats Borg Andersen tumbling down the order, and that may be why. Oh, this is it, I think. Is it? This could be it. Mats Borg Andersen going into the pits. Doesn't look like many people died there, to be honest. I thought that might have been the safety car. We're going 3 wide in towards turn 1. Dan Blake on the inside, Corpus in the middle, Henriksen on the outside, and Dan Blake actually backs out of it the most. Henriksen's going to need to get back on track. And there are many cars in the pits there, to be fair. Let's have a look if we can see what happened. Oh dear. That's after an incident, I think, there. What did Duncan do, said Joshua Germany. Well, there it is. He absolutely sent it to the inside and just bounced off the wall into Donnie Henriksen. But it looks like Donnie actually avoided it. I think it would be funny to have another look at that actually from this point of view. This is on board with Duncan Murray. Should we go full speed? There's a wall there. Christian Rivero's had an incident somewhere as well. This was his. Spins on the chicane, and that's where Mayurek got caught as well. Oh, Jan Weisfang around. Mundere in as well. And then what happened with Mats Borg Anderson? That was interesting. Didn't quite see what happened there. Let's have another look at that. Has he just lost the rear end? He's lost the rear end as he chucks it in. 2T6. Saves it. Comes back on aggressively, does he? Oh, yes, very aggressively. Tags around Stephen Burns. He gets involved with... Oh, man, oh, man. Bad rejoin from Mats Borg Anderson there. And I think Stephen Burns' race affected. Let's have another look at how many cars were in the pits. Quite a few. Tempted to bring out that safety car, but also not sure, just to bring those few of those people back in the race. Stephen Burns in the pits still, Mats Borg Anderson still in the pits still. Lap 6 of 12. And all this has been going on, has taken our eyes off of that lead fight, where they've been swapping places, I imagine, all over the shop. Jake Cranston there in P1, Morgan Burkhardt still right behind him. Now, they've got a moral dilemma on their hands here at All Sports Racing. Jake Cranston leads the way, 2 tenths in the lead. I wonder if he's going to tow Morgan Burkhardt to the end and then let him win. I think realistically at this phase in the championship, that is what I would do, as Ridley is now tumbling down the order and Lecquay is in the wall with him. This is just absolute... This is the race 2 you wanted, right? Oh, is Sam Van Olst involved? Doesn't look like it, actually. Backed out. Oh, Carl Ridley bounced off the wall. Oh, Sam Van Olst was lucky to survive. Ike Lecquay out of the race as a result. Yeah, there you go. That's that. What a dodge from Sam, indeed. That was very, very close. Very close indeed. You want an onboard with Sam from that point of view? Let me see if I can find it. Okay, Connor Mills has just passed Huffman. Should we go full speed? Backs out of this move to Sam Van Olst. Carl hits the wall, bounces into Lecquay. Slams on the brakes. Great reaction from that man. And that puts him up into P11. He's going to be starting on the front row in race 3. Kieran Dempsey alongside him. So as I was saying, All Sports Racing, small dilemma. Morgan Burkhardt fighting for the championship, currently in P2. He was 30 points back from Connor Mills, who won race 1. Connor Mills is currently in P6. If I was Mr. Cranston, I would let him take that on the last lap. Personally, not going to shun Mr. Cranston's win if he does take it, though, because he's been rapid. And he wants every win he can. Stephen Fry is up there in P9. He's just passed Eric Mannenfeld. He's having a hell of a race today. 4 laps left. He's up into P9. And they're still side by side as they exit this corner. There's 6. I'll tell you what I've just noticed. 6 Hyundais are in the top 10. The Hyundai's having a good round. Side by side into the chicane they go. Little bit of a touch. Big drift. I think they're going to survive. There we go. That's how you do it. Not perfect, but that's how you survive. P8 and 9, they continue their fight. No meatball for Meatball Motorsport. And Lurch's Academy carry on as Huffman and Mills are going at it back here. Downing leading this train. Mills backing out. He's there right behind these two. Mannenfeld, I think, is going for it again. Up the inside of 6. And now he's ahead of Fry into 7. Joe Gibson's managed to somehow claw his way back up into P10, so he's going to start quite high up. Quite high up indeed. And these two still going side by side into turn 1. Connor Mills and Jameson Huffman, lap 9 of 12. Connor Mills wants that position back. He's trying to minimise the damage done in this race, but look at this. He cannot underestimate that these 4 are still racing. Jake Cranston has enough pace, it seems, to just keep himself that little bit ahead into this main overtaking zone, into the chicane, which is impressive stuff. Honestly, his pace is something else. So Sam Van Olst has just passed Joe Gibson into the chicane, so he doesn't want to start in the front row. He's just trying to get up as high as he can. John Bailiff and Dan Blake are racing out in the middle. John Bailiff used to race for Win It or Bin It, so a little rivalry there. Caraday is right behind, so he's in P16. He's having an okay race this time around. I know the question I'm going to get when I get to the steward's room. Why do we come back here every time when there are so many crashes? So many. Maybe that's why. Maybe the fans love to see it. Stephen King in the Hyundai is putting Morgan Burkhardt under pressure in the Audi. Morgan positioning his car perfectly there for Stephen King. Goes a little bit wide on the exit. Stephen Fry and Manintveld are still swapping places. This is on top of Stephen King's car. Now watch the slipstream effect here. He's not going to go for a move in the chicane from this gap, I don't think. But let's see if that Hyundai can pull itself along this straight. He's actually going to pull out a slipstream. So Morgan sticking to the inside, following Jake. Into the chicane, Hyundai absolutely bouncing over the curves, through the left, into the right. Morgan using a bit of the grass there. Scary stuff for that man. Dabbing the brakes through this long right-hander. Jake Cranston just keeping himself within Burkhardt's toe. Like he's just towing his teammate along. And Marcel Friesch, I think, also just sitting pretty and watching this in P4. He is going to be claiming a lot. If he can finish up here again in race 3, Marcel Friesch might be one of the highest point scorers this round, or might be the highest point scorer this round. He's done a cracking job in that car, as we see 4 Hyundais now, all in a row, from 3rd down to 7th. Hear the wind as they fly up this hill. So the top 4 separated by this gap. Dan Downing has got the next train behind him. It's just Jameson Huffman and Connor, who I think is pushing. They're not going to go 3 wide into the chicane. Connor doesn't know which car to follow into the chicane. Huffman and Downing. Ooh. Connor backs out. He's going to have a look into the inside of 5, has to back out of that as well. And that type of fighting is what's going to cost him time to Mr. Downing, who's having a good race. Manintveld and Fry are the next 2, still next to each other. And Sam Van Olst is actually closing them down. He's got Joe Gibson right behind him. And currently your pole sitter for race 3 is Kieran Dempsey. But he's got Jerry Agard right behind him, who's looking to gain a position there. Jerry knows that is for pole position. As Connor Mills on the inside of turn 7. He's not going to get the better run out of that corner. This is the final lap we've gone on to. We are on lap 12. I panicked then because I thought I missed the checkered flag, but we have just gone on to the final lap. So this is it. White flag from this point. Cranston, King, Burkhardt, Friesch, all coming up the final hill now. So this is their main spot. Who's going to get the run? Morgan Burkhardt. He's done well. I don't think he's going to get gifted the win anymore because he's got 2 championship rivals right behind him. Stephen King's going to pull out to the outside. He's going to give it a go into the chicane. He doesn't. Tucks in behind. Tries to throw Morgan off of his stride as Morgan goes a little bit wide on exit. Can't get the power down in that Hyundai. But Jake Cranston, all the meanwhile, is pulling away from Morgan Burkhardt. Chat was right. We had Germo in chat, said no chance is Jake going to give up the win. John Bailiff and Dan Blake are still fighting it out. Caraday's just passed Blake as well. But Stephen King is going to look to the inside. He doesn't do it. He moves over to the back. He's going to try and get switched back on 6. Morgan Burkhardt going through turn 6. The final corner coming up now. Jake Cranston leading the way. Your winner for race 2. He's come around the final corner. Morgan Burkhardt still under pressure from Stephen King, who's going to get another podium in that Hyundai. It's a Honda Audi Hyundai podium once again. And he does let Morgan through. And Morgan Burkhardt takes the win. That was planned to perfection. Jake Cranston lifts off at just the right time to give Morgan Burkhardt the win of race 2, slots into P2, so he loses a win stat to his name. Everyone's going to know it was his, but great team play there. So he's done it against all expectations of chat. Jake Cranston lifted off at the line at the precise moment he needed to, and all sports 1-2, and Morgan Burkhardt takes the win to pull, you would expect from that race, a little bit of a championship gap closer from Connor Mills, who finished in P7. Wow. And now, as we head into race 3, now we get a little bit of a break. And hopefully, during that break, they all cool down and gather their thoughts after that race. Because that was messy, for want of a better word. That was beautifully done when Stephen King and Marcel Friesch directly behind Mr. Burkhardt. And in all that, didn't actually see where everyone else finished. So I think now it's time to go through those results as the timer up there counts down the break. Let's have a look at the results of race 1 and 2. So race 1 ended like this. You had Connor Mills, Marcel Friesch, Morgan Burkhardt, Jake Cranston, Matsborg Anderson, Stephen King, John Bailiff, Dan Downing, Henriksen and Huffman. Your top 10. Manintveld, Burns, Fry, Ridley, Fox, Van Alst, Murray and Dempsey. Your top 18. Joe Gibson, Blake, Agard, Corpus, Thornton, Lequay, Mayerek, Ribeiro, Weisfanger, Amundere and Caraday round off your top 29. Your full grid there. So Caraday and Jesus Let's Gaming not having a great day there in race 1. Race 2 went as follows, as Andre says, classic Watkins experience in chat. Morgan Burkhardt and Jake Cranston there, your top 2. All Sports 1-2. Stephen King in 3rd. Marcel Friesch 4th. Dan Downing 5th. Huffman 6th. Connor Mills in 7th. Eric Manintveld in 8th. Fry and Van Alst 9th and 10th. So Van Alst starting in the 2nd row after starting last in race 1. Will he get a penalty today, though? Because he is 1 penalty away from a race ban. So that will be interesting to see how that goes. Connor Mills, 28 points to Morgan Burkhardt's 44. Well, it's a big old chunk. We said it could swing. Connor did extend his lead in race 1. Morgan absolutely clawing him back in race 2. How is race 3 going to go? Joe Gibson and Kieran Dempsey are going to start on the front row. Jerry Agard was 1 position away, 2/10 away from reverse pole. John Bailiff there in P14. Caraday made his way for Lurch's Gaming up into 15th place, so a bit better for him. But with half the grid ending up in the pits, maybe it's a little bit maybe not as much work as he needed to put in for that result. Dan Blake and Thornton and Henriksen there in 16, 17 and 18. Henriksen with the maximum avoidance of Duncan Murray on the inside of the chicane. Christian Ribeiro there in 19th. Jesus Amundere, Lequay and Fox in 22nd. Murray 23rd. Mayerek, Weisfanger, Ridley, Burns and Corpus round off your grid with Matsborg Anderson there in P29. Where can he get to in race 3? Who knows? Who knows where he can get to in race 3? I cannot watch any replays, annoyingly, on this SDK thing, unless I just do it the old-fashioned way of using the iRacing thing, the iRacing what's it called, interface. That's what I was going for. Although it is break time, and I need some water. Is there anyone going out on track for some TV time? There is, and it is none other than Dan Thornton, I believe. who is practicing his starts in the Hyundai. And it is time. Time on the break. Time for race 3. Let's have a look at that grid. Here we go. Kieran Dempsey and Joseph Gibson on pole on your front row. Pole position is Kieran Dempsey, Sam Van Ol, Stephen Fry, Eric Manitveld, Colin Mills, Huffman, Downing, Frisch, King, Cranston and Burkhard round off your top 12. Agard, Bailiff, Caraday, Blake, Thornton, Henriksen, Ribeiro, Amundre, Lequay, Fox, Murray and Mayrek, your top 24. And Weiswanger, Ridley, Burns, Corpus and Anderson round off your grid. Welcome back, folks. We are back for the final race. 12 more laps around the chaotic Watkins Glen here. So much going on. We got 3 Audis on the front row this time. So I wonder how that's going to work. Here they are. The lights are coming on. As the timer ticks down, it's 5 lights and out they go. Who's going to get the best start? It looks fairly even from the front 3. Dempsey gets away well, as does Gibson, as does Sam Van Olst, who's flashing his lights already, and Connor Mills already up into P4 as he goes around the outside of Mannenfeld. You've got Fry there as well, who's going to try and go around the outside as they all come swooping down into turn 1. Looks fairly close. Donny Henriksen's going to go 3 wide there on the inside. Andre Mayerek goes right out. Is that going to be a slowdown straight away? I hope not. Dan Blake, I think, lifts off. Maybe he took the blame for that to let him back through. Jan Weiswanger there was getting shafted a little bit as he went down the order, but up at the front, here's what it looks like as Sam Van Olst moves up into P2. Here's Kieran Dempsey leading the way for the first time this season, I think. Anderson already up into 25th. Kieran Dempsey into the chicane, flies through as Sam Van Olst is going to try and chase him down. Joe Gibson right behind. This is what it looks like from the back of Kieran Dempsey's car. A nice big rear wing blocking the way, but Sam Van Olst right behind him as Huffman and Fry have just swapped places. They're still side by side, I think, round this corner. They are. Huffman leans on him a little bit on the exit, but Stephen Fry's not going to give that up. He's going to have the inside as they head down towards turn 6. Fox and Carraday are battling it out back here. Fox gains that position. Dan Downing is side by side with who up ahead? It's Morgan Burkhardt. Championship second place. Duncan Murray and Thornton swapping places back there as well. There's cars everywhere as they come flying through into turn 7 as we approach lap 2 of 12. And look at Sam Van Olst all over the back of Kieran Dempsey. Joe Gibson has Connor Mills on the inside of turn 1. Connor Mills gives a late lunge. Down the inside he goes. Joe Gibson's going to hold it around the outside though, and he should get the better run as Huffman goes really wide on the exit there. There's purple sectors all over the place. Connor Mills on the inside of turn 2. Joe Gibson, as they climb up the hill, is going to have the inside of 3. Gives Mills the inside of 4. Where's the slipstream going to go? Sam Van Olst. Oh my God, he's going up the inside of Kieran Dempsey already. It's lap 2 of 12. These two going side by side. Sam Van Olst on the inside is going to take a move into the chicane, and he takes the lead of race 3. Sam Van Olst of Goldwing Racing, Goldwing Motorsport, takes the lead from Kieran Dempsey as the cars behind get a little bit shuffled around. Carl Ridley uses some Induro. They're all coming flying through. Andre Mayerek takes a big drift through the chicane there in the background. I think he moves out the way of Jan Weiswanger, who's coming through. But Sam Van Olst leading this race. 3 attempts up the road for Kieran Dempsey, who's got Connor Mills behind in P3. Championship rival Morgan Burkhardt currently in P10, who's going to, I think, take this one car at a time. He's got time, 12 laps to get through this grid and try and close back up to the top end. Oh my Lord, everything is going off. Henriksen is climbing up the order back here. He's round the outside of Ridley into turn 7. Little bit of rubbing, but Donny Henriksen is going to get that move. He's behind Mats Borg Andersen, who is up into 21st place already after starting in last. 29th place. Something is wrong with Sam's lights, says Bob ZFG. They keep flashing. Germo says this is Kieran's time. Is it? Because he's currently in P2, but he is only 2 attempts back from Sam Van Olst. Is this race going to continue? But Connor Mills is not going to sit here for long, that is for sure. These top 3 separated by nothing. Kieran Dempsey is not letting Connor get on. He's on the grass. We've seen that before at Imola. That's not where he wants to go. He's going to have to back out of that. Think again. Connor Mills behind Kieran Dempsey. Sam Van Olst still leads the way into the chicane. On to lap 3. The train behind, not giving any quarter. Jake Cranston has a look up the inside of Marcel Frisch. That was a little bit naughty if Marcel's pushed wide there, as it looked like a late move from where we saw it. I'm sure we'll have a look later. Marcel Frisch is going to have the inside of turn 6. Dan Downing is going to make it 3 wide as they approach turn 6. Jamison Huffman on the outside. Morgan Burkhardt is going to swoop round as well, and that position is going to be gained. He keeps the wheel on the curve. That was not an unfair advantage. Dan Downing slots in behind Morgan Burkhardt in P9. Huffman up into 7th. Burkhardt up into 8th. They are going to continue their way as Mills is now up into P2, chasing down Sam Van Olst. Your current race leader, Andy Fox, moves out in the background there to try and pass Ike Lecrae, who's on the inside of Jerry Agard as they head in towards turn 1. Jerry Agard slots in the middle of the 2. Not quite, runs out a little bit wide, but tries to get back on track as Lecrae moves over to let him through. Gibson has just passed Dempsey as well. He's going to go around the outside of 3 is Gibson. He's going to have the inside of 4 as they run down. He's not going to be squeezed onto the grass though, because his car is firmly there. Sam Van Olst, Connor Mills lead the way. They are going to be fighting up here. Burkhardt has swapped places with Huffman. Dempsey and Gibson are still going side by side. Into the chicane they go. They're not going to give any quarter. Kieran Dempsey on the inside. Gibson is going to try and hold it around the outside. He's going to cut that corner a little bit. I hope that's not a slowdown, because he's done bloody well to keep it there, as Burkhardt and Fry sounded like they had a bit of contact back there, and Fry you saw going quite wide as a result. Cranston coming right out across. That was a little bit late. A lot of nose chopping going on here. Fry loses a number of positions. That's what happens in these trains. Big old trains. I've just noticed Stephen Burns on the track map there. He's all by himself. What happened to Stephen? at the start of this race. It's with Dan Thornton there. Goes to have a look up the inside of the chicane. Oh, he spins on the curb, he's going round, he's going in the wall. Yep, big hit into the wall. That'll be why he's there. Don't think there was contact between those two, to be fair. 2x2 into turn 1. 2 Audis. Hyundai in there as well. This is Gibson coming under a lot of pressure in P4. Huffman is going to move up into P4 at the moment. You got Burkhardt and Downing behind. Cranston's looking feisty. You got all 3 all-sports cars on the same piece of track. We know what happens. Doing a great job keeping up with what's going on. There is so much going on, Mr. Dandridge. Thank you for joining in YouTube chat. Joe Gibson round the outside of Huffman into the chicane. Side by side. Is there any contact? Joe backs out of it, but Morgan's going to try and take advantage and go around the outside of the chicane. He's going to hold it. Morgan Burkhardt up into P5 with a cracking move there. Joe Gibson falls down to P6. Cranston and Downing, I think, made contact behind. That's Cranston involved in a lot of contact in the exit of that chicane. I wonder if he keeps going for optimistic moves, or am I just making this up? Andy Fox is racing hard here as well in P13. Ika LeQuay giving him a nice push on the way towards turn 6. Power move, says Bob ZFG in chat. Agard and Caraday side by side into 6, heading towards turn 7 now. I want to see that shot of them next to the wall again. Maybe we'll do that on the next lap. But here is Caraday, Agard side by side. And Connor Mills is in the lead of this race. When did this happen? There's so much going on. It's so frustrating to miss things like this, but it happens. Connor Mills past Sam Van Olst for P1, and it was down the back straight. Was it? It was, and it was fairly easily done by the looks of it. Oh no, it's not going to get done by the braking zone. So these two went side by side. Connor Mills swoops in and takes the lead from Sam. Goes a little bit wide on the exit, but he's got the inside for the next corner, so that battle's going to continue around turn 5. Great move there for the lead, and I've got a feeling that this battle's going to continue on for the rest of the race, because Sam Van Olst was very much still there as we cut away. This is what it looks like currently, so they're still at turn 5 now. Sam Van Olst not letting this go as we approach the halfway stage, and Kieran Dempsey's still there, believe it or not, fighting for his first podium this season. But Huffman, if anyone, is the one to stop that, unless he makes a mistake on his own. But look at the big train behind. Huffman here. He's got Burkhardt behind. I wonder when he's going to make the decision to let him go to chase down the podium. Although Huffman has put in a lot of work and deserves, I'm not saying Jake didn't, he deserves any sort of result that he gets, does Huffman. He not overslept. He missed one race due to a traffic jam. As Cranston is going around the outside of Gibson into turn 1. Downing's looking to gain some places. Can he get the run? Runs a little bit wide on the exit. Now you reckon Weiswanger down in 26, 27, swapping over. Cranston up into 6th place on Gibson. All the all-sports cars, 4th, 5th and 6th. Strong result for the 3 of them. And it looks like Burkhardt up the road is going to be given P4. He's been released. I told you it wouldn't be long. As these guys are going side by side. Joe Gibson making the move back on Jake Cranston, who keeps his nose there on the inside of turn 5. That was very close. Very close from that point of view. Jake Cranston's going to run a little wide on exit. Dan Downing's been having a quiet but positive race at this time. Sam Van Olst still very much behind Connor Mills. 2 tenths, keeping that gap quite close. He's well within the slipstream. Connor Mills has set the fastest lap as he's pulling him along. There's Kieran Dempsey going through that shot. I love the sound of the engines as they fly through there. Huffman is still very much in the bumper of Morgan. There, we're going to see a lot of pushing, I reckon, from these guys. So Jake Cranston, this is a nice little defence they've got. Jake is the rear gunner. He's got everyone in the train behind. No one's going to get past him now, I don't think. Maybe they will, because the slipstream's strong, but he is going to be defending, and he's let Morgan go, who's leading the way. Jameson is going to push him along to try and catch those next guys. The next person on their target list, Kieran Dempsey, who is currently there behind the top 2 who have just zoomed past your screens. There's Kieran in the purple car, and Carl Ridley has gone to the pits. Has he had another incident? It seems like Carl has crashed. Downing and Gibson going at it. What has happened to Carl Ridley? Oh, he's just bounced He's just bounced off of the Meatball Motorsport car. And I hate to say it, but Joe Gibson has also had an incident somewhere. It's with Dan Downing. Oh, Dan Downing's going to come across. Yeah, bang. They both go off towards the right-hand side into the wall. Oh, no. That's not what you wanted to see. Stephen Fry somehow survived that. And I think Dan's just going to... Is he just going to pull over? He's got a broken wheel. But he might try and get it back to the pits. Let's go back live to see what is happening. And here is your top two as we go on to lap 9 of 12. 3 laps to go. 2 tenths the gap. Agard and Murray going at it in the Hondas in 15th and 16th. But Sam Van Olst looking to get past Connor Mills. Or are they just pulling away from the rest of the field? Is Sam pushing Connor further away from the rest of the field? Is he just wanting a P2? We'll have more on the... who am I supposed to root for, says Germo on Twitch. Sam is staying patient. He's staying very patient. He needs to be practicing his overtakes, really. Putting some pressure on Mills. In terms of the Dan Downing incident and not catching a break, from first look, just looked like a bit tight on entry. I think Joe Gibson may have moved over left a little bit. Got tagged Dan round, and then Dan just flew across the chicane. Out of control. And then they both went right. So that's what I saw from first look. Can't call it that 100%, but I think that's what happened as we approach lap 10. Duncan Murray leading the Masters Attraction cars there in P15, 16 and 17. Fastest man on track right now, Jake Cranston, trying to close on to his teammates. 100 messages received through all the chats. Thank you for getting involved. Tell you what I can do. I kept forgetting to do this. I'm not going to forget today. It is your time. I'm going to put this in chat now to vote for your driver of the day. Driver of the day. Here comes your poll. It's been sent to all 4 channels. If you click on that link, all the drivers' names are on that list. Vote your driver of the day. You can only vote once, I believe. Well, there you go. The race isn't over yet. You can hold on to your vote if you want to, because this man is still not out of the question yet. He's 4 tenths back. He started last in race 1. Climbed his way up to around, what was it, 15th in race 2. And then here he is. Actually, no, he finished in 11th because he started on the front row in race 2. He's just hit the wall, though. Oh, no, Sam Van Olst. Has he hit it hard? Has he got damage? I don't think he's got damage. Looks to be fine. It's definitely cost him a bit of time. 7 tenths now. Kieran Dempsey a little bit further back. Can he close that gap back down? Agard and Murray are still going at it back here as they go into turn 1. Murray going down the order a little bit. Both of the Masters Attraction cars going through there. Your All Sports Racing gaggle look like this, trying to close in on Kieran Dempsey, who's currently in 3rd. He's on for his first podium in a long time, is Kieran Dempsey, as they come flying through the apex of that chicane. He's got 2 laps to hold on to it. I don't know if I want this to happen. Kieran Dempsey, the current man who doesn't have a podium on this grid, in one of the teams that doesn't have a podium on this grid, is currently in P3, 2.5 seconds back from P2, with championship P2, Morgan Burkhardt, right behind him, 3 tenths as they approach the final lap. We're on lap 11 now. The final lap is on its way. Has he done it, though? There's 1 whole lap to go, and Morgan Burkhardt is well within slipstream range. He might have to play a little bit of a game. Oh my God, Sam Van Olst is closing the gap down. It's 3 tenths up in the lead, but Kieran Dempsey is your man who's under pressure. Sam Van Olst, as they exited turn 1, is right here. I think Connor Mills smartly scrubbed off a lot of speed into turn 1. May have caught him off guard. But Burkhardt here in P4 chasing down a podium. He doesn't want to let Mills get away, but Dempsey hasn't had a podium yet. Is he going to get the move done? How hard is Dempsey going to fight this? It looks like Morgan may have the run, but Dempsey is going to give it all that he can. He's on the inside. How much is Morgan going to risk? Can he get the run down towards the chicane? He's going to give it a go. Dempsey needs to brake as late as he dares. They're side by side in the chicane. Dempsey can't hold on to it. He loses the podium on the final lap, and Huffman is going to have a sneak up the inside there into turn 5. Where is it? There it is. Dempsey holds on to it. He's in P4. That is his best finish. Morgan Burkhardt, though, sneaks onto the podium. He's got 2 all-sports cars behind him now. But up ahead, that's what it looks like. It's it's Connor Mills and Sam Van Olst both going wide in turn 6. Into turn 7 they go. Round the final corner on the final lap of race 3. And Connor Mills makes it 2 out of 3 wins for today. Flashing his lights, but a sterling drive from Sam Van Olst, the Belgian driver, there in P2. Morgan Burkhardt comes home in P3. A good race from those top 2. Kieran Dempsey missing out on a podium in P4. His first podium of the season. Sunken hearts all round. There were people rooting for a Sam Van Olst win. There were people rooting for a Dempsey podium. And both of them did not come to fruition this time. With Morgan Burkhardt P2 stealing it around the outside of the chicane. And Sam Van Olst just not quite having the run. All sports, a hefty amount of points. I'm not sure if Sam will be happy with that, to be honest. He's hard on himself sometimes. Number of drivers out. Dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. That's what it looks like when they're on their way back to the grid. At least we didn't see that in the race. As they all come into the pits. Let's have a look. Let's have one more rundown of those results before we head over to the interviews. Don't forget, driver of the day. Vote on that little link there. Oh, do you know what I didn't do today? And what I could have done? Have a look at this, people. It's a bit late for this now, but we'll do it anyway. Don't know if you remember Jetta Cup Season 2, but we've been here before, which means we had this little animation, which I was meant to show at the start. Look at that! 3 sectors around Watkins Glen. Swooping corners. That's where we've just raced around 3 times. A bit late doing it at the end, but there you go. 2 overtaking zones. Was that correct? Turn 1 and the chicane. Speed trap at the end of that main straight. 7 turns in total. Made in 1956. Have that for an animation. And, to be fair, speaking of the Jetta Cup, let's not forget our previous winners here. Stephen King in Season 1 Sprint. Jake Cranston. Some familiar names there in the Season 1. Season 2, though, dominated by Henry Morse, who's not currently on the grid. Sure we'll be seeing a return in Jetta Cup Season 3. But whilst I give you a bit of time to vote for your driver of the day, let's have a look at the Race 3 results. The final results for Race 3. Here they are. Connor Mills takes the win. Sam Van Olst in P2. Morgan Burkhardt, Kieran Dempsey, P3 and 4. Huffman and Cranston, 5th and 6th. King and Bailiff, 7th and 8th. Manenveld, 9th for top 10 for him in Lurch's Academy. Marcel Friescher, top 10. Matsborg Anderson from last got back up to P11 and 20 points. Great effort from him. In one race, that was. Let's not forget, Sam got up there throughout the day. Matsborg Anderson got there in the one race. 18 places. Huge. Carraday in P12, another strong result for him this time round. Andy Fox, Ike Lequay, Donny Henriksen, Jerry Agard, Murray and Ribeiro there. 17th and 18th. Corpus, Mayerek, Blake, Amundere, Weisbanger, Thornton, Burns, Fry, Gibson and Downing. A round to forget for some of those drivers for sure. And Carl Ridley will be disappointed with that in P29. Do you know what I'm surprised that we saw more than once? I think we saw it more than once. People turning into that wall. Did not expect that. Did not expect that at all. But we had it. We definitely had it. Right. it is interview time. Let's have a look. Who have we got available? Interview awaiting room. Looks like Connor Mills, double winner today, is not around. Race 2 winner, Morgan Burkhardt. Did Morgan Burkhardt win race 2, or am I making that up? I always forget. So much goes on. He did win race 2. They got a 1-2 in race 2. There you go. Shows it right there. Let's bring him in. We'll bring him in. We'll bring him in alone this time. We'll speak to Morgan Burkhardt, race 2 winner of the day, and a hefty fight to P3 there in race 3. How are you feeling, Morgan? How was that?
I'm feeling pretty good. We stayed consistent. We got a good load of points for the team. I think I probably closed on Connor a little bit, just by podiuming in every race. So it's definitely good for the team. And big props to Jake for the teamwork that happened at the end of race 2.
Yeah, and he done it just at the perfect time as well.
Yeah.
You were coming under pressure from, I think, was it King behind and Frisch? And then it looked at one point like the gap was quite big between you and Jake. And you had those two right behind you. It didn't look like it was a feasible strategy, but he done it. And he done it the perfect amount of time where he finished in P2 still with those two right behind you. So it was definitely well executed. But like you said, I think you might have closed the gap a little bit today. Especially with that race 2, that was probably needed, I think, in a good way, because I think Connor was around 7th, and you ended up with a win, and obviously you got P3 there in the end. Where was you in race 1? P2 was it?
I think 3rd race 1, 1st race 2, 3rd race 3.
Yeah, so you would have closed the gap a little bit for sure. Watkins, talk to us about the track. Is it one of your favourites?
If I could smite something, it would be this place, this layout. I mean, it's great for racing, depending on cars, but it's just really boring. It's basically an oval, and
it is basically an oval.
Yeah, it's not awful, but it's also not great. Mosport was much better.
Yeah, that was a tough round to follow on from. Actually, that was we thought that the racing might be sort of intense, a little bit insane at Canadian Tire, but wasn't sure what to expect coming here this time round with these cars. We've been here with the Jetters before, obviously, and it was a bit different in the slower cars and the slipstream being a little bit stronger. But did you tell us about your mirrors? Did at any point you see? I think there was a big. Well, I'm not sure how big because we didn't fully see it on stream because there was so much going on, but. There was an incident in race 2 which involved quite a lot of drivers. Did you see any of that in your mirror, or was you too far ahead?
If it wasn't my mirrors, I wasn't really looking at my mirrors, so I have no idea what happened. Just everything in front of me I saw. Everything behind it was kind of a blur.
That's right, yeah. Well, congratulations again on another win to your tally. Is there anyone before I let you go? And obviously we head to Laguna Seca next time round. Is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to before I let you go?
Definitely Jake. I mean, an amazing teammate, and we brought home really big points for the team. So really happy with that. Jameson did a really good job today as well. I think we'll be closing in on Fear Factor and Pulsus in the points championship. So it's a really good day for the team. And yeah, just thanking Team Watson Racing, our partners.
No worries. Thank you very much, Morgan. I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
There he goes. Let's have a quick look at the poll whilst we... Oh my god. That's not what we wanted to see. Quick look at the poll. Where's it gone? There it is. Who has been voted driver of the day this time round? I don't even know who I'd vote driver of the day, to be honest. It's a tough one. I thought it might have went this way after a P2 and stayed well within Connor Mills. Obviously, it's gonna be an interesting one because we don't know what the penalties are gonna be like. He might receive a penalty for today. It depends how his races went. But it was your driver of the day is Sam Van Elst. Let's see if he's around for another interview. We've interviewed him before, and he's an interesting one. He wasn't happy last time we interviewed him. Let's see if his fortunes have improved today. Sam Van Elst, number 92. Are you feeling a bit better today?
Yeah, it was actually fun.
You enjoyed it?
Yes.
That's always a bonus. Why did you
My
enjoy
favorite
it?
tracks.
This
It's
is
my favorite track, and I got pace here, so it's always nice.
It's your favorite track. You said that about
Yes.
Zolder.
Yeah, but I think I got more pace on Watkins, so I like this more.
Mr. Burkhardt described Watkins as an oval. Is that why you've got more pace? Because it's flat out most of the way around?
Not really.
No.
I just like the flow of the corners and shit.
It's a nice one. You've got obviously all the S sections. You've got the chicane into turn 5, 6 and 7. And you had a tough day starting in 29th in race 1. I think you got to P11 in race 2. And then obviously
P10.
started P10 even. And then
Yes.
you started on the front row. And had a little bit of a race with Kieran. And then a race with Connor as well. Talk us through that. How did that go?
Yeah, so I started and I saw like two Audis in front of me, so I know like I can't pull away from these guys. And then after one lap, I overtook Kieran, I think. And then I saw Connor in my mirror, and then Connor overtook me, and I was like, let's work together a little bit so we can pull a gap. So I just stay behind him, and we put like I think 2 or 3 seconds gap. And then I think second to last lap, Connor hit the wall, and I did exactly the same. And I lost like 0.3, I think. And then I was catching up in the last lap, and then I was just too far away to make a move.
Yeah, it looked like you closed right up on the last lap on the first corner, and then like you said, I think it just stayed a similar gap pretty much for the rest of it. Going to Laguna Seca next. Are you worried about any penalties today?
No.
No, you're not worried.
No.
Okay. Well, that sounds confident. So that's good news. It's good news. We're just seeing your move on Kieran actually into the chicane. Very nicely done on the inside. I think you tried to hold it around the outside, but it was too late. You managed to carry the speed through. But well done on your P2. Some big points there. Seika next, and we'll see you then. Is there anyone before I let you go that you want to say hello or thank you to?
I want to say hello to Dan and Duncan. I didn't hear Dan. I don't know where he is. He wasn't in Discord, so hit me up, Dan.
Okay, there you go. Thank you very much, Sam. Speak to you soon.
Yo.
There goes Sam Van Elst, a bit happier today than last time. We got two-time race winner is back in the Discord, so we can pull him in very quickly for our last interview of the day. It is Connor Mills, 1 and 3 race win. How was that for you? A bit of a weird one in race 2. Talk us through it.
Yeah, it's fine. I think it was more, there was a lap 1 incident with Mats, and I come off quite bad with it with slowdowns and stuff, and then I just, I felt 3 wins coming on tonight, and I think that just got to me a little bit. Started overdriving, too many mistakes, and then I knew I was making too many mistakes, and then I started driving harder and more angry, and it was a bit of a snowball effect. So I was glad when that break come for race 3.
Yeah, I think we nearly saw. I can't remember which race. I think we nearly saw you go for a move again on the grass. I think it might have been race 3 actually. After you cooled down, I think it was on Kieran, but then backed out of it because we didn't want a repeat of Imola for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't remember. So much happened in these races. It was so close between the whole field. But what happened? So talk us. You had Sam behind you the whole time, pretty much in race 3. Was you worried at all, or did you feel like you had it control?
Yeah, it's an hard one because there's a good like 4 temps in this track in being in the toe. So, and again, it's so easy to go over the limit here and lose time, which obviously just sucks everyone back in, right? So I was trying to do a repeat of race 1 and just keep it consistent, which was working. You know, I felt like I was pulling the gap, once the toe got broken, I was pulling it out, and then a little, you know, it only takes a tenth or two mistake, and then that's it, straight back in, and that's what happened. I think maybe Sam started pushing a bit more towards the end, but I knew as long as I could keep it into the chicane, the rest of the lap would be all right. So it all worked out.
Good. Well, I think that's pretty much all we've got time for. Before I let you go, is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to?
Just my mechanic Jed, who's sitting on the sofa to his girlfriend on FaceTime. Big shout out to him, and a big thanks to Pulsus as well.
I've been sat there watching you race this whole time.
No, he's been on the phone to his girlfriend.
Just uninterested.
we're off to Sunderland for work for the rest of the week tomorrow. So.
Oh, nice. Well, I hope the weather's nice for you. It doesn't rain or whatever.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you, Connor.
See you
Speak to you
later.
soon.
Bye, mate.
And there we have it. 3 interviews done. Driver of the day with Sam Van Ols. Mardomo in YouTube chat says hello. Bob says, as always, great stuff. Kakula says, could be worse. Talking about the circuit, because it has the inner loop still, which is nice. It wasn't boring for the people watching, says Bob, when the racing was so close indeed. And of course, one final shout out to all of you guys in chat, and anyone who's watching just lurking silently. Don't be shy. Come and say hi. There's a new catchphrase for you. Have that one for free. Seriously though, next time out, next week even, Laguna Seca, before we have another week break and we head into our final run of the championship. We've got one more race in America, then a week break, then we go to Interlagos, then Japan for Twin Wing Motegi, and then we go off to Australia for Phillip Island, and then a special fun race at Mount Panorama. So 4 weeks in on the trot after that week break, and then we're done. Can you believe it? It feels like it's been a long season. Not quite as long as Formula 1, but here we are, round 8. We're heading towards round 9. Let's get this done. Who's going to come out on top? It's very close at the top. Morgan and Mills absolutely going at it, and it could go down to the wire. And we know what that's like in racing. Frustrations rise, mistakes get made. What's going to happen? And at the back end of the field, everyone's fighting for a position here. In no matter what championship they're thinking about, every point counts. And yet, survival is still not drilled into their heads by the looks of it in some of these incidents. We'll have a look at it. We'll get back to you. Thanks for watching, whether you watched with VCO Esports on YouTube and Twitch, or over with the Racing Line on YouTube and Twitch. And of course, thank you to GT Omega for sponsoring the championship as well. Don't forget, you can get 5% off all GT Omega products using the code, simple code, 3 digits, TRL. Stands for the Racing Line, of course. TRL, 5% off all your products. Thank you for watching, everyone. If I don't see you on track this week, then I'll see you next week for the next video here on the Racing Line. Peace.